You're listening to and watching Emails Not Dead, brought to you by Cinch Mailgun.
Welcome to Emails Not Dead. My name is Eric, and the gravy to my turkey, with me as always, Jonathan.
I don't know if I like that
JT
intro
Torres.
as much as I like some of the other ones, but thank you. I think.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. You know, you keep it saucy, you keep it real. I appreciate you all your days. You know,
thank you for bringing it back around. That was good save.
No, man, like you just, you keep it real. And that's what we need right now, some real talk. Because we're going to be talking this episode specifically about, I don't know, the do's and don'ts of upcoming holiday sends. So we have a couple special guests with us today. We have Allison Goody, longtime friend of the podcast, deliverability advocate specialist at Mailgun. Welcome back, Allison. How are you?
Oh, I'm so glad to be here officially as a real Mailgun employee now. Back on the podcast officially. Ever since I met you guys, I was like, I got to get in there. And now I'm here. So what a thrill.
Yeah.
Right on.
One of us.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you. Welcome to the fold. I appreciate you as well. We also have another special guest, Mike Auldredge, the deliverability services manager at customer.io. Mike, how are you, sir?
Better than I deserve.
Yeah. Mike, your reputation definitely precedes you, man. Like, I think I've heard about you. I've heard your tales like way even before we even started talking. So it's really great to have you on the show, man.
Well, I assume it was a mixed bag of stuff, but I appreciate you guys letting me on despite all that.
No, man, I'm excited. I feel like I've made a fast friend already, so I hope this relationship continues.
100, dude.
Okay, right on.
And isn't that
Just
what
because
the season's all about?
Yeah. But Eric has a special bond with anybody who starts talking about Zunes, so that's always a bonus.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
we're not going off on that tangent.
It wasn't working in my dating life, but professionally, I have made some buddies with my Zune love.
Nice. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, man. I'm so excited. There's going to be so many Slack channels. I got to introduce you to some Reddit threads. Like, we're going to talk.
The society.
Yeah, right on. Well, before we get there, we definitely want to jump into what's coming up next. You know, holiday season of the year, sun's going down earlier. It's getting a little bit crispier here in San Antonio, not just because we're all burnt, but it's about that time to start talking about some of this. So I appreciate y'all coming in and laying it down.
Yeah, happy
We
to
are
be
pumped.
here.
Most wonderful time of the year.
I know. I always consider it the deliverability Super Bowl. You know, it's kind of like, which I mean is insanely and violently nerdy of me to say, but it really is that. It's the time when all of us are activated, and I think it's that time when we're really, connecting with marketers on this being a very important time, but having very different scopes of concern sometimes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, what do you think? Like, I don't know, like, just to kind of kick us off in that direction, because it's that time to start thinking about this. Really, it's like, I feel like this is the payoff for you doing all the right things through the year. And now you get to really start kind of ramping up and getting into it. Like, have you seen anything so far, or have you heard any other kind of like rumblings on people getting ready?
Yeah, it's something like we talked about before, just how Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it's something that starts earlier and earlier every year. And the one thing I've seen has actually been quite positive, at least from the customer IO side. We've seen customers engaging with our deliverability team, asking about how to prep for it now. And it brought like a tear to my eye because you usually, especially historically, in the early days of email, Black Friday, Cyber Monday is you go to town on your list, just unabashedly, and then it's a reputation repair conversation, which is where my team would spend most of their time. Now it seems like there's a lot more front loading of some of that goodwill, and I think a lot of lessons learned in the industry, and pretty awesome though, for sure.
I agree. Every year I'm like, oh, we're going to start early this year, right, guys? And then there's like some customer that you work with that has never sent before. They had no idea this was a big thing. They just thought, I have this new product, I'm going to blast my whole list. And you're like, oh, I got to whip out all my emails that I sent my customers last year. Just use that same material over and over again, because for us, this stuff is evergreen. It's the same stuff we talk about all the time. But, every year there's new little email marketers entering the fold and they have no idea what to do. So as fun as it is to see some of those roosters come home and think, oh my God, I did such a good job prepping, I feel like there is just always a new batch of folks that have no idea what's going on, and we're like, start now, and they're thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to wait until I'm thinking more about Thanksgiving. We did a webinar just last week about Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I'm kind of waiting for those recording links to get hit pretty hard in the upcoming weeks when people are like, oh crap, we moved from August and the thing after that is actually September, not more summer, because it's so hard. You're like knee deep in the throes of all the heat and the humidity, and you're like, oh my god, this is never going to end. And then next thing you know, you like hear the jingle bells on the commercial and you're like, oh, it's that time.
Yeah.
Oh no! And like I know my fam watches like what is it, like holidays in July, the Hallmark Christmas movies. It's pretty much like in the background all year round for them. And I'm surprised our mom doesn't have the Christmas tree up already. Last year, she put it up like at the beginning of October. So we're getting close.
So we're noticing the holidays are starting to trend back for when they start. So pretty soon it's just going to be Christmas all year long, holiday season. Black Friday.
One of my neighbors,
everyone just deals all the time.
Yeah, one of my neighbors has those like 12-foot skeletons in their yard that were like such a big deal during the pandemic. They have never left the yard. They like have seasonal outfits and they're just out there all the time. And so on the one hand, it's so exciting that it's festive, and on the other, it's like, is nothing sacred anymore. I was excited about skeleton season, and now it's all year.
I think you should open up to that. Yeah,
my neighbor put hers up in July. And she's had it like she decorated it for Pride. She decorated it now for college football. I'm like,
that's so good.
I told her just leave it up all year. Like it's the holiday skeleton.
We have that in Olympia. That is a new lifestyle. So that in addition to loving Zunes, I kind of want to join that team as well.
Skeleton crew.
You should.
Yeah.
You really should. Yeah, do it.
That's nice. That's nice.
I think that's how the customers are too, is like our customers who are sending the emails, they're thinking like, oh, well, let's just keep this fun going all year long. And so they have these seasonal specials all the time. You get these subject lines, they're like, biggest sale of the year. And you're like, it's Labor Day. I know that's not true. Like, I think it's going to be an even bigger one just around the corner. And so I do think that's one thing, is that every year as it starts earlier and earlier, folks are just getting fatigued all the time because they're thinking like, I know you always have a deal. There's another deal, especially I don't know about how it is in San Antonio, but locally the economy, we're hearing a lot from small business owners like, oh, we're struggling. This is the time we need to keep our small businesses afloat. And I'm like, I'm trying to keep me afloat right now. So I feel for you, but I do feel like there may be some backlash with all this constant marketing that we need to kind of get back to the reason for the season. And what makes it special is that it is only a small amount of time. There's this like window of big excitement and hot deals. And I think it would benefit folks if they tried to make it a little bit like less of a year-round affair, because all our wallets are getting lighter all the time.
Yeah, instead of like, I've seen, as we talk about the season like expanding, there's also, I've noticed some good things and some bad things. Some of the rough stuff is that I've noticed they've started doing the blasting a little early. And I use the word blasting, intentionally. But one thing I've seen that's pretty awesome, and I started seeing this in the last couple of years, is senders starting to hype their deals. So what they're doing is they do some very carefully targeted drip campaigns and blasts out to their audiences, letting them know like, we've got a major deal coming here. So basically you get this hype train going, and then based on the engagement of those emails, you start fine-tuning your list for the actual Black Friday, Cyber Monday send, and then you really deliver on what you promised. And that part is very important, getting your base super excited and offering them something really awesome, because instead of just using Black Friday, Cyber Monday as an opportunity to get the dark, dusty corners of your list and try to hope to engage, like target those people who are your biggest fans. And those are where you can really start seeing a lot of those conversions. So like, yeah, using that fine tuning as you approach it. Maybe your list won't be as big, but I bet your return on investment will be a lot higher.
I love that. Like, I'm a big shopper. There's like boxes showing up all the time. My mail lady hates me. And like, there's a couple stores where like at Christmas time, they'll say like Monday is 20% off of this product. Tuesday is a BOGO, Wednesday is free shipping. And so I could kind of plan for what I wanted to do, because I hate when I like talk myself into making the purchase, I spend all the money, and then the next day they're like, hey, that thing you just bought is on sale and you're screwed. And you're like, oh, I don't feel happy about your brand at all, actually. And so I think there's some reluctance of some brands to like kind of spill the beans of what they're planning. They want to see like if I surprise you, will you be excited? And it's like, yeah, maybe, but what if I'm also excited for longer and actually give you my money because I knew what you're going to tell me? And so I don't know, I feel like folks kind of like to make a gamble. They don't want to spoil the surprise, but like I'm just trying to spend my money and know where it's going. I don't really want to be surprised about an expense personally.
Yeah, it's just like being a mysterious singer-songwriter. It's always that balance between delivery and mystique. And you don't want to go too hard on the mystique because obscurity has no heroes, I find.
Well, no, actually, I mean, based on our last conversation, I think that, y'all were looking at attending a couple concerts for folks that, didn't have a lot of following. So,
Yep.
maybe there's some.
Yeah, you got to get them pumped up. You don't tell the city that you're going to be in, like, hey, I'm here right now. You better come or else I have to quit. Like, no, tell us beforehand. I'm not trying to be held hostage because you want to do a band for your living. I have a real job. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's a real job.
It cut us deep.
Dang,
Sometimes you have to talk about email. Hey, you're here. You're here at your real job too. You gotta keep your eye.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, like,
JT.
it's also a good way to, like, drive engagement through all of that, too. Because if you're doing something where it's just like, hey, this is the thing, and it's just here now, it doesn't help. And we're always talking about, like, hey, you got to do things to plan this out. Like, start building that list, like what Mike was talking about, too, is that you want to start early, you want to start curating, you want to start doing that stuff. And if you can see what those engagement numbers are looking like early by doing things like that, by showing the plan, getting everybody ready and hyped for it, like, that's gold. That's, like, exactly what we're telling people to do.
Yeah, and like especially like as far as like getting ready too, just because you have an inactive segment of your list too, that doesn't mean like I'm not sitting here saying don't email those people, don't get them ready for this deal. I'm just saying don't do it on Black Friday. Like right now is a perfect time, and you have a massive opportunity to start, re-engaging with those maybe stale recipients or those people that you really might want to convert, bring them back to active users or whatever. So I'd say right now is the time to safely re-engage some of those more dormant parts of your list. Make a decision about 5 to 10% of my daily traffic I'm going to commit to sending a very simple, maybe a simple offer, like a 1 CTA email. And I generally like to say, have it be an opt-in email instead of saying like, hey, this is your opportunity to opt out. Like really send it, come from a good faith place and say, hey, would you like to opt into marketing communications? Start sending those out. Then you can start throwing them into your campaigns as well, those ones that you're using to prep for that big send. You can't see my hands right now, but I'm doing a diagram that's it would be so much clearer if you could see. I'll just bring it up. I was doing like this. So good thing we got video.
Yeah. And I definitely don't want to gloss over a couple of those things. Like I was going to ask for the number because I know like we all kind of have our own, like I know I like to have always told customers, that 10% is like kind of your magic number or like what you don't want to go over of like people that haven't engaged with your traffic that you're including with the people who have engaged with your traffic because it can look bad. And when it starts looking bad and you start getting the wrong kind of numbers, then you're going to get into more trouble than what it was worth. So bring it in slowly, let that part of the audience like become part of it and like opt them in. I love seeing messages that say like, hey, haven't heard from you in a while. Like, we just want to make sure that you still want to be part of this. Click on this link, like let us know, come back to our opt-in page. Like I will participate in that when I'm asked because like, that's honest and truthful.
And you feel respected.
Yes, very much. I don't feel like I'm just the wallet behind the scenes that they're trying to stay afloat with. Like it feels like they're treating me like a person.
I like the ones where they haven't heard from you in a while. Here's 10%. Come on back.
Yep.
Butter him up a little bit.
You really want me? Talk to my wallet.
And the 5 to 10%, though, I do want to touch on that, too, because I always try to be wary about throwing out those hard numbers. Like, everyone's always looking for, like, oh, what is a good engagement time frame? Or what exact percentage of my list is going to be, like, the safe spot? And I just say, kind of to your point, JT, you start off slowly. Maybe start with 1 to 2%. And maybe you tick that up a little bit, but let it be a dynamic number. Listen to, like, your list, because every list, every industry is going to be a little bit different. So if you start noticing, a bit of shaky performance as you've like maybe expanded that audience, maybe you knock it back a little bit. So again, you have some time now to start doing that like fine tuning on pretty much every aspect of this preparation. So you find your own number basically.
I just wanted to say I love the confirm your opt-in email also, as opposed to the like please unsubscribe, because every email is a chance to unsubscribe. I can do that whenever I want. You're not doing anything special for me for being like, oh, you can actually opt out of this. Like, yeah, no, I know. Thank you. I know how this works. And so I just feel like that's more respectful. I also, same thing, you know, a lot of folks are asking like, should I clean my list before the holidays, or what's the best way to clean my list? And you don't really need to do that if you're actively sending. Your list should be clean already. And so you can kind of save that money in that step and do something else that's going to actually, you know, move your little Christmas needle there and make the money start rolling in a little bit faster. I definitely agree with the get started now. I know it's hard to think about that, but it would be so nice to know that by the time the holidays really start and you need to start sending these like really critical money-making emails, you know your list is in order. There's no surprises. You're not going to hit a rogue spam trap. You're not going to get blacklisted. You're not going to see a huge spike in complaints if you know what you're dealing with. And also to the point about the unengaged, I think it's so hard to put a number on that because everyone is defining these things so differently. Like one brand's unengaged might be somebody else's, like we've completely gotten rid of those people already segment. And so I think it's so hard to tell people, no, like toss 5% in, because I have no idea what you're working with. Is this like a list that your intern found on a disk somewhere? Or, you know, is it actually people who purchased once upon a time? Did they confirm opt-in? And so when folks are thinking about these engagement segments and who they want to like reactivate and who they maybe want to put on ice permanently, they need to look at not just like they haven't engaged in X number of months, but what did that engagement look like before? Did they ever buy? Did they ever confirm opt-in? Did they ever click on things? Because I think a lot of senders see this big, huge list and see every single one of those addresses as a potential dollar sign. And I kind of think of it up. It's like Wheel of Fortune. Some of them are dollar signs and some are bankrupt. Like some are going to totally ruin you. And so you have to be really careful when you spin that wheel, like what's going to happen.
I love that you said, like, as far as like different senders having different criteria for what engagement is. And I really want to drive this one home because I think this is something that gets lost in the sauce. Like the fact that like, okay, so somebody's engaged. When it comes to sending email, at the end of the day, the inbox providers are the ones who are going to let the email in or reject it or spam it. So when someone's engaged, really focus as your starting point on email engagement. So yeah, engagement in other channels is great, and it's awesome to supplement and fine tune your audience. But if your engagement criteria is logged in or had a page view within the last year, or even maybe made a purchase but hasn't really engaged with your email, Gmail doesn't know, you know, how many custom slippers your customer bought. You really need to start with email engagement and definitely focus on that as you get to like your final Black Friday, Cyber Monday audience, because those people are going to be the ones that you're not going to run into those global filtration issues. So I just say like all that to say, make email engagement paramount and then use your business data to further supplement that.
Especially if you're not confirming opt-in, because like I've worked with a lot of senders who have apps, and so people will have to create an account to use the app, and they'll give like some garbage email address that they never bothered to confirm. And so they'll say like, oh, I have this segment of folks who are app users, but they just haven't engaged with email. And I'm like, ever or recently? Because if they did once upon a time, maybe they're still good. But for all you know, this person making a purchase has nothing to do with the email address you have on file for them. It could be something totally bogus. And so if you're not bothering to confirm those and all you know is that they have made a purchase, it'd be a really good time to send them a nudge and say, like, is this even your email address? And do you want to get emails from me here? Mike, you mentioned other channels, and I think that's so important too, because if someone is logging into your app but not opening emails, send them a message through the app. You don't have to email them. You're already getting their attention somewhere else. There's no need to like risk your reputation just to say that you did it.
Yeah, I think that's something huge too that I've seen a lot. I'm sorry, Mike. I
was just agreeing enthusiastically with my girl Goot.
Yeah, like the utilization of the app to say like, hey, your contact information is wrong. Can you please update it? Or something to that effect, you know, would be huge, because I definitely see a lot of senders that don't send to the correct address, but of course they have engagement on the application. But if you're still hammering those bad addresses, that's still going to harm your reputation. And, you know, when you want to do these blasts, you know, they're not going to go as great as they could. So.
Yeah, and I see senders make this mistake where they're like, oh, but you know, they're engaging, they're making purchases, but they're not engaging. And I'm like, so what's the point of the email? They're already purchasing. Like that's the reason you're sending the email. You can skip that step. You've got what you want. You've got them checking out on your website. You're good to go. You don't need to really do anything else. It's working. It's all working.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about like a lot of great things that we should be doing. Like, what are some big don'ts? Like, what are some like?
Don't send email. Just give it a
Yeah.
rest. Just take a break. No,
Well,
but for real,
don't send at the top of the hour. I think there's a lot of inbox
Oh,
providers that would be so
yeah.
thankful. Like if that's all anyone
Yes.
ever did, like you're just going to be kind to those providers that have a lot of patience with us, and I think they'd love
yeah,
that.
this is one thing that I talk about a lot. So sorry if you have heard me say this a million times already, but I think we need to keep in mind the people we're sending to are people. They are people, and I think it's so easy to think again like they are dollar signs or they are mailboxes or they are whatever. But at the end of the day, they're people, and so I think we need to keep in mind that people's inboxes are going to be very full, not just of your like deals, your 7 days of Christmas deals, but everyone else is doing the same thing too. And so whatever you can do to maximize the chances of your mail being noticed and being effective, I think is important. So don't do what everyone else is doing. Don't send too much. Don't send too often. Make sure that you know who you're sending to and don't just guess. That was some do's and some don'ts, but
It was mostly Donny, I think.
It was on theme.
I'd say don't make big infrastructure changes during Black. So if you're thinking like, hey, I might want to talk to my provider about maybe adding some dedicated IPs, or hey, maybe now's the time I might try to send from a dedicated IP and not be on a shared infrastructure anymore. All decisions that are made at different times for different senders. Now's the time to start engaging with your points of contact at your sending providers and start having those conversations, because a warming period is in place. If you want to spin up a new subdomain, say you were wanting to split transactional and marketing, if you wanted to start making some of those changes, do that now. Don't do that during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And this is a fun one. I saw this not in my organization, but I'd seen somebody in Email Geeks talking last year about doing a terms of service legally mandated email during the holiday season. Talk to your legal team, get a sense of whether that kind of stuff is coming, because sometimes you don't have a choice of when to send that.
Mm-hmm.
Try to do that earlier if possible, or after.
Yeah, or late, right at the end of the year, for sure. That's another one of those like right channel at the right time things. Like there are some streaming platforms that I've worked for before as email senders, and they wanted to send those messages through email, and I'm like, but you're not like people aren't doing stuff in email with you as a streaming provider. They're using your app. Just put the notification in the app, and so every time I see one of like Hulu or Netflix or someone say like agree to your terms before you click OK and can watch, I like screenshot it and I send it to a customer like, hey, see, they're doing it. Don't you want to do what everyone else is doing? You do not have to do this in an email. It's totally fine to put it right in the app. To Mike's point, I think that is a really good call out. One, don't misconstrue what is transactional mail, because, for example, a terms of service update may legally be transactional, but do you really want to send to every single person on your entire mailing list from your transactional IP? Like, I think probably not. That mail tends to be like staggered. It tends to be lower volume. And so if you're going to send like a blast size outreach on your transactional domain and transactional IP, the engagement is going to be way different than it was for your receipts and your password resets and stuff. And if you are not letting people unsubscribe because it's transactional, you may get some spam complaints because they're like, I don't want this and I don't care about it, even if you think you need to send it to me. And so spam complaints on your transactional domain would be really damaging to your reputation, and you might lose out the ability to like actually contact those people with things they do want to get from you in the future, which could be a little bit of a customer support burden in the future. Tickets, people saying, "Where's my receipt?"
Don't sacrifice your nuts and bolts messaging for a marketing send for sure. And kind of to add to that, I think I have a final. I'd say my final don't is don't not sync up with the rest of your marketing team, because I'm serious, because like I've known many times, and Allison, I'm sure, or all of us, I'm sure, have run into this at some point. You have really, you've worked with a marketing lead and you've got a plan and everything's going well, but then there's another marketing person on their team that goes rogue and just blows it all up. So I would say from an organizational standpoint, make sure that your like any strategy that you've come up with and that you're ready to hit the ground running with, make sure your team is in sync on that. And by your team, I mean anyone who has access to your email sending platform.
Yeah.
Also, and I know it kind of goes in line with what Mike was saying at first, like making changes to your infrastructure and stuff like that. That includes purchasing new services, like right at the, I've been on this side of the house for a little while now, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen contracts come across like, November 1st. And it's like, okay, we have 5 million emails to send out on Black Friday. Can we get there in time? It's like, There's no way. Like, if you want to burn all your reputation in every place, like, cool, like you can, but that's not a good thing. We're not going to advise you to do that. So, like, start planning.
Hey, job
now,
security.
Like, yeah,
there you go. Or do it.
help them through that whole thing. Yeah, go for it. Like, I'll be here to help you pick up the pieces after. But yeah, it's just one of those things that we see it constantly. Like, just that you got to do it now. And I think that goes into like another piece of the conversation, which is like going along with that, letting all your team know and everything, in that sense of what you're doing, what the strategy is, like what's going to happen. But I like that we're having this conversation now. We're getting ready to post the podcast about it. I know internally, we have all our team prepped, telling them like, hey, reach out to everybody that does this, get them to start planning this now. Like we have the webinar that just went out. Like, and it's a matter of constantly getting people to do the thing now, but that really is just starting the conversation. Even I know, for us internally, we have our team, right? We have a team of people that are ready to start having that convo, start the planning session, start to figure out what's going to happen. And I get it. This podcast isn't just for people that are our customers, but people that are out there just doing sending. You probably have your own team of people that are doing this internally. So start talking to them now. And it doesn't have to be, an all 10-point plan perfectly laid out. But you need to start having those conversations so that what's going to happen, what you're going to start to do, like which things need to start triggering now, and what can be, what that's going to look like at the end of the day and when it's all said and done. Because it's a big deal. And if you're not having the convos at all, then it's when it becomes a problem. So start talking about it, start planning, just, get together with whoever you can, whoever you have available to you on whatever platform you're sending, or just internally with your team. Like you really got to start doing those.
Yeah, and it doesn't take a lot. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's either have that conversation now or have a way more contentious one later. So.
Yeah, it could be a conversation 2nd. Over coffee or a lamentation over beer. Like coffee, that can be nice too. There's space for that, holiday season, what have you. But yeah, to the point of like, I'd say too, another part of that too is, having that conversation. Maybe you don't have a really strong plan. I was even going to point out too, like maybe if you don't have like a ton of data, maybe you don't have a ton of resources. I think one thing for, a lot of like, Allison, you mentioned like some of the smaller marketers coming in, to the fold, or even the regular sized marketers. Yeah,
They're all big marketers, Mike.
It doesn't take a lot of resources to really improve your outcome, So like maybe you don't have a ton of, digital strategy and all this business intelligence. If you just focus on, the basics, that's enough too, so I wouldn't say you need to go like, if you aren't in a situation where you can do these grand things, just some basic common sense stuff, basic engagement filtering, basic sunset policy. That's also going to make such a difference too.
Yeah.
I know that we didn't talk about this earlier, but it occurs to me now, a lot of people are probably going to be signing up as new subscribers during the season because there's going to be tons of deals. Maybe there's new brands. Maybe, you're getting a gift for someone else. And so I think it's a really good opportunity to have like super tight list hygiene from the jump. I know it's so boring. No one wants to do it. These email addresses are like little bits of gold and they just need to like polish them and then they'll be money. But some of them are not gold. They're turds and you need to just get rid of them. And so I think when you're getting a new subscriber, always do that double opt-in, especially if, we're in the gift giving season. Like if I love buying my dad presents from Bush's Beans. He loves beans. So they make all this really good bean clothing. He's got a bean shirt, bean pants, bean jacket. I got him a bean doormat. I'm running out of stuff, honestly. But I love their emails, but I don't need to get them all year long. I don't personally care for beans that much. And so
excuse me.
Oh my God, this merch is amazing.
And I should send them an email and be like, please send me one that says beans and greetings. That would be really good.
Beans and greetings. That's amazing.
I love it. This is turning into like a Bush's baked bean commercial, and I'm for it. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Yes, they have a shirt that says that if you want it. We can work together, Bushes. I still love you.
The slides.
Oh, man.
He's got the hat.
The bucket hat.
He's got the doormat.
They missed an opportunity to call that a beanie. Like really.
Totally.
He's got the bean pants.
Bushes, if you're watching or listening.
Dude, I bought the bean shirt as a joke, and it's his favorite shirt. He wears it all the time, and it's like so photorealistic. It's really gross.
The speaker.
That sweater is actually pretty dope.
There's a huge Black Friday, Cyber Monday opportunity here, so listen up.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, what I was gonna say, if you're shopping for someone else, maybe that person doesn't want to get, like, I don't need bean updates all the time, but you should give them that opportunity. Do you just want this coupon right now? Do you want to be on our list all the time? How much email do you want from us? Preference center, something. I think we need to give people those opportunities, because I don't know about you, but I have more than one email address. They are not all equally used. Some are used to just sign up for coupons. And so I think, if you start with a clean slate from the beginning, then when this comes once a year, you don't have to think too hard about, which part of my list is viable and what do I want to send and what do I want to do. You just know you're in good shape and you can just raise your volume whenever you want. So anyway, data quality is super important. Watch out for those new subscribers, do double opt-in. And, there's also like a little bit of a cybersecurity angle too. Just make sure that you're not getting like DDoS or something. Add some bot protection to your sign-up forms, a CAPTCHA, something like that. You don't want to be so excited that you have an influx of subscribers and then find out actually they were diabolical and bad for you.
Yeah. And dude, Allison, like your profile of your dad is like a bean enthusiast. Super rad though, because like that's one thing. You're like every company, you have those customers that are like your evangelists. They are beyond stoked about your product you're offering. So the thing is, if you just send it real reckless like during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, your attempts to reach those dormant contacts are going to be at the expense of getting those conversions from those people that are your like heavy hitters and the ones who really are going to convert. So don't sacrifice.
And maybe wait it all year. They're like, oh, what kind of bean goods are you going to have? And then they don't even get them. It's so sad.
I really want to throw in like a re-engagement campaign for them of like, where have you been?
I was thinking of Lord of the Rings. If I take one more step, it'll be the farthest away from home I've ever been. Shout out Samwise.
Yeah, nice.
I like how he knew exactly where it was too. I like to think he just paste that line and be like, I can't do it, man.
Come too far.
I need that motivation.
Right on. Well, I think we're about at time, but I want to say thank you for all your great insights, Allison and Mike. It's definitely been insightful, and I hope
it's been insightful.
It's been insightful. You want to make sure that our folks out there, if you're listening, start early, curate your list now. Don't not talk to everybody that are your stakeholders. Don't start new services or new sends or legal notifications for terms of service. But, if folks want to hear more about this or talk to you more directly and get some more information, Allison, where can they hit you up at?
You can find me on LinkedIn, Allison Goody. Follow me for more. I post every week. I've got a blog series coming up for Mailgun, so I'm pretty excited about that. The first one will be not about this. The second one will be about this. And, of course, you have our webinar recap that you can catch online as well.
Right on. And, Mike, if they want to reach out to you and get their paws on you, where can they go?
Ooh, pause. LinkedIn would be great. Nice little professional network there. Yeah, and for Customer IO users and for everybody, we're going to be doing a series of blog posts, webinars, things coming up to get everybody prepped. So all those will be announced and posted on my LinkedIn page as well.
Right on. And Thomas, what about us? If they want to hear more about us and all the things that we've done and seen and will be, where can they go?
I had to close the Bean website so I could get the URL. You can find us over at mailgun.com/resources/podcast. And you can also check out our YouTube, youtube.com/@mailgun, and you can watch this episode. You can also watch it on Spotify and Apple Music and all that fun stuff as well. And a massive thanks to our homies over at Customer.io for hanging out with us. It's always good to have them. So,
yeah, man. Thanks. Great to be here.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's really been a pleasure, for sure.
Throw back to that bean stuff we were talking about. You silly goose.
It's called a callback. It's an industry term.
Whatever. That's fine. I'm fine.
All right. Thanks, yo.
This has been a production of Cinch Mailgun. Learn more at mailgun.com.